X gonna give it to you. Welcome to the escape pod, bitches. I'm Sal.
I'm Josiah.
I am Nathan.
And we just saw Deadpool. What do you guys
Yeah,
think
we
about Deadpool?
I thought it was, this movie has received a lot of hype from the fan communities. I just want to say that being someone who's not the biggest fan of Deadpool, especially because of the hype, I thought this movie was awesome. It was exactly what I wanted it to be and what it needed to be. And it was never too much for me, which was surprising because I went in going, oh man, this is just going to be like another teen comedy movie like Superbad, but even worse. But it wasn't.
Nathan.
I mostly very similar. Like if you're one of those, you dress as Deadpool to Comic-Con, you are an internet troll, you love all things Deadpool, this is going to be your crack cocaine. If you like X-Men, you're probably really going to like it. I think this movie is actually, like, by itself, the actual like story is fairly simplistic, but I think the way it's
there's almost no story.
Yeah. So, it's like the most bare bones of stories ever, but the way it's presented is very clever. And with a character like Deadpool, you kind of need that simple story because it's more about his character.
Yeah.
His character is the wildness, and if you have a wild movie starring Deadpool, that's just that's a descent into madness. So, great movie.
Yeah. So this is what I fucking want from comic book movies. Because I actually watched the Red Letter Media's Half in the Bag before I did this review, just so I know things I'm plagiarizing. They made a joke where they were like, this is like someone just pulled out like issue 305 of Deadpool and just made a movie about it.
Yeah.
Because and like just personally, it's like what I hate about superhero films is it's like the big epic actiony save the world thing, and I'm like, I don't want that for my fucking movies. I have some comic book ideas in my head personally, and they're never like save the world type plots. They're always like really simplistic little. Like right now, I'm currently reading Evil Deadpool, the little story arc, and it's fucking great. And like I could see this being a fucking movie because a lot of superhero films have the same plot. Like it's why I'm so scared for X-Men Armageddon because
Apocalypse, yes.
Whatever. Oh no, the world's gonna end, and I'm like, cool. Seeing that, it's fine.
I think that's especially the problem with the X-Men series and with the Marvel series, is because it is cool to do that smaller, more focused movie, but at the same time, I think they're very much in the mentality of escalation. This next thing has to be bigger. This next thing has to be bigger. This whole city is in trouble. The whole world's in trouble. The whole universe is in trouble. And then you get a Deadpool movie where it's just like, I just need to kill this guy.
But I will say the Wolverine was a movie that didn't focus on the end of the world. It was a more personal battle that did. So Fox, I don't think Fox is totally, and the next Wolverine is based on Old Man Logan, which is the most non-world building stakes you can have. So they're not completely devoted to that.
Well, yeah, I just mean like when it's the ensemble X-Men,
right.
X-Men X2, X-Men The Last Stand, First Class, Days of Future Past. But then when you have those single character movies like X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Oh god, that's not what I meant.
No,
I just want to say that Fox, they ever since X-Men Origins Wolverine, they've consistently given a good product up till now. I'm just putting that up.
True.
Yeah, Deadpool I fucking thoroughly loved it. I didn't know much about Deadpool. Like I knew like a bit from passing, but this film has made me actually I got some comics of Deadpool. I'm really digging them. Like the jokes are good. Like everything's great, and also it's. I love that we're at the point of comic book films where like you can just toss in the X-Men without having to explain who they are.
Yes,
like,
thank you.
They're just because that scene where they show up and they explain that they're mutants and they're at a school for gifted mutants and we all know that scene in our heads. It didn't happen. I'm so happy.
I mean, I wish that Deadpool had like questioned why Colossus was suddenly Russian when he hadn't been at all in the movies.
Alternate timeline, my friend.
I get that. I mean, I guess he points out that the timeline is confusing because there's two different kinds of professors and all that shit.
So Deadpool, Colossus, and Negasonic Teenage Warhead, like that fucking like trio, really was solid and made the movie.
It was, yeah.
Because like they were just they played off each other so fucking well. Because like Colossus was like the mom of the situation. And like Negasonic was just so fucking great. Like that one bit where spoilers by the way.
Massive spoilers for everything.
Oh yeah, fuck it. I mean, they saw the spoiler warning. What am I talking about?
That doesn't matter.
I just like vocally saying it. The bit where they're on the bridge and like Deadpool, because Deadpool being breaks the fourth wall, and he's just basically breaking down Negasonic Teenage Warhead's whole fucking character, and he gets in her fucking face and is like, "You're gonna do one of two things." She just stares at him. And she's like, "I'm in a box here," like
yeah,
so honestly, and I'm like. Fuck.
I will say, like, with the Deadpool fourth wall breaks and, like, I guess you call it social commentary and, like, pop culture references, I was expecting it to be obnoxious and, like, try hard. But this was probably the first movie where those kind of jokes felt, like, legitimately clever.
And natural?
And, like, yeah, and natural. Like, it felt so organic. And I love, like, I just love the character of Deadpool. Definitely Ryan Reynolds' best work. I'm so glad that he campaigned so hard for this movie and this character.
I found out recently that he was the one who leaked the fucking test footage.
Oh, that makes sense.
Really?
Yeah, that was him.
That's wonderful.
That's amazing.
I remember when I first saw X-Men Origins Wolverine, if you cut out what actually happens to Wade Wilson, that was a really good Wade Wilson. Like, Ryan Reynolds nailed the character of Deadpool in that. No, I wish he got an actual good portrayal.
Guys, you guys are all going to persecute me. That's okay. You know what? I can handle it. I'm a fucking adult.
I don't know if you can.
I get death threats a lot. I'm fine.
There are worse things than death.
I like the majority of X-Men Origins Wolverine.
I can't even believe this.
Up until maybe like the last like half hour.
Well, the last half hour is horrible.
Exactly. That's it. I'm getting up. I'm leaving. It's been nice.
Bye, Nathan. Like, all the flashback shit, I actually thoroughly enjoy. And again, I haven't seen X-Men Origins Wolverine in like ages. It's just good, and then, like, it just starts to fucking jump down a cliff, and then I'm like, oh god, this movie's awful now.
You see, I lost all hope when he basically says, Bub, and then he says, did you just call me Blob? That's when I knew, in my soul, that this movie could not be saved.
I will say I think that the movie was pretty decent. Like, for the first half, the only big problem, like, throughout all of it, it's not Wolverine. Like, that character is not Wolverine. Like, he's this nice guy who gets a little gruff from time to times, but the whole time they're just like, oh man, you're an animal underneath it. Like, you can't control yourself, and it's like, this man seems very normal. Yeah, he got pissed that his girlfriend was taken.
Would Neil? Yeah.
Do you realize that comics Wolverine is an asshole? Like, he's not a likable person a majority of the time.
Let me put to you what X-Men Origins did for me, and why
I did not mean to start this whole thing.
What it did. This is all related. I just want to say what it did to me. What it did to me. Yes.
Where did this movie touch you specifically?
I can never show you where.
Show us on the doll.
You cannot imagine watching Days of Future Past. My relief that X-Men Origins Wolverine was now effectively gone from existence. It was like that was part of it. Like, Days of Future Past gave me a lot of feelings for a lot of reasons, but the way that they cleanly just said, listen, it happened, but it didn't happen anymore. We're doing something new. So when I first saw X-Men Origins Wolverine, and I liked the first two X-Men movies a lot, and the stuff they did with Stryker and Wolverine in the second movie was amazing. Okay, and the backstory, it's like the original trilogy and the prequels. What Stryker says about Wolverine tells you so fucking much about who Wolverine used to be, and you never see a goddamn thing. The way he describes him as an animal, and that he gave him claws, and that all this shit that happened, you can tell that there's this deep history, and it's so much more effective than seeing it. Because when you finally see it, Wolverine's just this lumberjack. He's not an animal. He was in a couple of wars, and he was the guy who was trying to stop Sabretooth from killing people. And it's just like, how is this character going to change if the whole time he's just a nice guy who happens to get angry because his brother's killing people, like his wife, who didn't actually die, spoiler alert, so it means the whole thing's pointless, and then he just gets shot in the head and forgets everything. So the whole movie was just didn't even have a reason to validate its own existence. That's not even counting what they did to Deadpool, okay?
Speaking of Deadpool, this movie was great.
Yeah. So yeah, Deadpool.
Jesus. But yeah, so this is
the
truly,
tangents we go off on.
Like the plot's very simplistic. Like, most of it's half the film's on a freeway. You just flashback and back and forth, and I don't mind it, honestly. I really liked how the movie just started. And Deadpool was just a character. Like, I don't know.
Yes.
It felt so good to just jump in. He's already the character.
Yeah. I gotta say, like, origin story wise, this movie's solid.
Because a lot of it, like, like even when it's you know, doing that sort of standard origin story, introducing itself, since it is like Deadpool himself, like literally like talking to us and guiding us through that. Like that just makes it so much more enjoyable, because it's like, even if they had started with that scene and then just done you know, a huge amount of flashback, that, you know, it still would have been you know, another origin story. But since we got so much intercutting with present day Deadpool and previous Deadpool, and him commenting on it the whole time, that made it like so much easier to get through.
It also did a really good job of making, like, but I don't want to jump too far ahead, but when he's flashing back and, you know, he wants this guy Francis, and then you see, like, Deadpool the movie is a fun, irreverent movie, but when it goes dark, it actually got me invested.
Right?
Like, when he goes in the oxygen chamber, I fucking get why he's doing why he's murdering so many people.
Because the movie started, and it's like, have you seen Francis? Have you seen this man? And it's all funny. And then like it flashes back to like him like saying his name and just Francis walking over to him, and I'm just like, I feel it. It got like it, because like the movie's all like, yeah, Deadpool, woohoo! It's gory, it's obscene, it uses bad words, blah, blah, blah. But it gets so fucking dark sometimes and so fucking good. Yeah. I don't know if I actually said this before on the show, but when the joke's not funny and it gets serious for a second, and I know that happens like midway through the film, but you know, for the first half, it's like, have you seen Francis? And it's all funny, and then you find out like the origin. And
what's my name?
Oh, what's my name?
You know, it was so good.
And you're like, fuck, and like then the joke's not funny anymore, and there's a moment where you just like back up and go, shit, dude, it's kind of getting real. And that's when that makes a good comedy for me. I want more films like this that just start and it feels like a comic book, not a comic book movie, a comic book.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I just watched a comic book happen in front of me. Also, one of the big things was that I heard was that they tried to make a movie that was it felt like someone commenting with you about the current state of comic book films.
A little bit. Yeah.
Like there's the line where he's like, where Colossus is like, we're taking you back to Xavier's mansion, and Deadpool goes, which one, McAvoy or Stewart?
Yeah.
And I'm like, son of a bitch.
When he said this is my most prized possession, and there was the X-Men Origins Deadpool, I was like losing it, and then he holds up the album, and I was like,
wham.
And then, you know, you have he goes by Ajax, but Francis says, I'll sew your mouth shut. And I'm like, good. You see, this makes sense in universe because it's another timeline. So it's just slightly different, but also it's a nice joke.
One thing that actually is really good to me is that, so there's a lot of references to the point where some people might not even have gotten some of them, because there's some, like, he makes a fucking Faulty Towers joke. Faulty Towers is so fucking old, and I'm amazed I know what it is. But here's the thing about, like, I'm using the Faulty Towers joke as an example. Basically, Faulty Towers is a sitcom that lasted one season, starring John Cleese, where he plays a character named Basil Fawlty. It's a good show. It's a good show.
No, I just get the joke now.
Okay, but yeah, so basically Deadpool is making fun of Francis, or making fun of Ajax, who's British, trying to guess his name, and he says Basil Fawlty, and like you laugh because it sounds like a very British posh name, but then on a deeper level it's a reference. Later on, I actually got into an argument with one of my roommates about this. He's fighting the main bad guys at the end, and there's one soldier who like takes off his helmet, and Deadpool goes, Bob?
It's Hydra Bob.
And I didn't know who the fuck that was.
Yeah.
But do you want to know what? Okay, so that's a reference, right? But I still laughed because I just thought it was just some guy that Deadpool knew, who he just happened to find. And I thought that was so fucking funny. I didn't laugh because it was a reference. Like, it worked on that level as well.
Yeah.
But it also just works on a joke level. And that's what I think is clever, is that when a joke works in both the referential sense and in just the joke sense, which is why I hate a lot of reference humor, because a lot of reference humor is just a reference to a thing. Which
Family Guy.
Yeah, which I don't. That's why I hate memes, because it's like it's a reference to a thing, and not everyone's in on the joke. But the way Deadpool writes the references, like the bit where he gets crushed in the car against the seat, and he says, "Ooh, nice whatever leather."
Corinthian leather. It's Ricardo Montalban.
Yeah, and I'm like. And I didn't get that, but I laughed because I thought he was being crushed against like his leather suit and the leather seat, and I still laughed at it because it's the layers of the joke that make it work. They make it good.
I will say there was this one joke that like it messed with my mind on multiple levels because of like its implication and like maybe I'm like completely overthinking it.
Yes,
but
I don't even know.
I'm curious.
Just towards the opening where it's him like sitting on the bridge. I think it's the first time he does a fourth wall break, and he's like, oh, hey, can you believe it? Like, whose dick did I have to suck to get my own movie? Well, it rhymes with Pulverine. And, he does that. And I'm like, I don't, like, it's so, like, it's so weird to me because, like, there's so many pictures and so many, like, references to Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
And then there's, like, this one reference to Wolverine, and it's like, he got this movie because he sucked Wolverine's dick. So it's like, is he talking about the Hugh Jackman Wolverine, or is, like, is the character of Deadpool like talking about the embodiment of Wolverine's character, and like how the X-Men are like aware of their film universe and they like have like the rights to it? Like, I don't know, it just like messed with my head, and I was like, what?
Well, there's another one where he says, do you think Ryan Reynolds got this far on a superior acting method? And I was like, oh!
Yes. That's the thing, is that I think that Deadpool knows he's in a film world, and no one else does. Because there's that bit where Colossus is like, who the fuck are you talking to?
I do like how they put that in, so that it is happening within the actual universe.
Well, what's interesting is, I know there was a Deadpool game that came out recently.
Yeah.
And they do something kind of similar where at the beginning he says, "Hi, I'm Deadpool, and I'll be portrayed by the voice of Nolan North," or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like within the universe there is like exists the concept of the character, and like he is acknowledging that the medium he's being represented on isn't necessarily really him, but it is.
And that's Deadpool, is that he's always functioning on like a higher level of existence. Yeah. Another thing is, when you said you were talking about something that fucked with your mind, at first I thought you were going to go to the obvious. It's a fourth wall break within a fourth wall break. That's like 16 walls.
I love that joke.
That is a great. That
was amazing. I'm surprised no one's made that joke before. This movie instantly gets you into it because you start watching the credits, and of course, everybody's names is replaced by what they actually are.
The tropes that they fall into.
The tropes that they fall into. And I thought, what a better way to open this movie and it's, it's a freeze frame special effects shot of Deadpool just in mid-flight. So it's already setting you up that this movie is going to be like in the middle of things, and you're going to have it slow. It just revealed so much. It revealed the humor, revealed kind of what you were in for, and kind of the way the story was going to play out. And just like, I don't know, just the things that they said on there, like an egregious cameo and stuff like that. It was just great.
Yeah.
I will say that I do have one complaint with the logic of this movie, and I know that sounds weird because it's Deadpool.
No, it's true.
The one thing that didn't make sense to me within the narrative was, and I mean, I get it, but I don't. He decided not to go after his girlfriend because he looks like a freak. Because I just feel like
it's because he's seen Fantastic Four, Nathan.
Oh, okay.
And so remember that scene where the girlfriend like just leaves him because he's ugly now, and everyone was like, "What the fuck is wrong with her?"
I mean, yeah,
I buy that.
Yeah, so I feel like that just doesn't make any sense, because I feel like Wade Wilson doesn't give a fuck, and he should, like, I mean, he was dating the chick for like a year or so I feel like he has a pretty good idea that she doesn't give a fuck. Like, she wanted to stick around with him when he was fucking dying. Like,
yeah,
I think he looks like a testicle.
I think it's kind of okay. Let me try to justify it in my mind. The way I saw it is that he didn't want her to see him when he was deteriorating from cancer, so it's related to that. But at the same time, he's like, after he gets into it's not Weapon X technically, but it is. When he's in the program, he's like, no, I probably should have just stayed with her. It doesn't matter because she'd know I was there. So it's like this weird kind of, it makes sense to me, but I get why you would. I mean, it's a simple plot. It's a way to delay it so that she can get kidnapped.
Exactly.
Honestly,
that's exactly what it is.
It leads to the best ending line of a film ever. That's a face I like to sit on.
Yes. That was so good. Yeah,
that was so great.
If someone says to me one day, they will have me for eternity.
See, and the thing the ending did was, I like how it was playing coy, like, yeah, Deadpool is probably going to join the X-Men eventually, but let's enjoy him when we can be as R-rated as we want, right?
Yeah.
I also love how the "what's my name" joke gets resolved at the end.
Yeah.
Which is like, what's my name? Who fucking cares? And it's
that was great.
I lost my shit. It was like laughter and also being scared of when he spells Francis's name out with bodies.
Ooh, that was nasty.
That was so good.
It was amazing.
Also, I love how the film just ends with like a small battle, not a city-destroying, chaotic whatever.
Was that a helicarrier?
I know, right?
Yes. It was a down helicarrier.
I don't want to think about this.
Everyone was great, I think. I just want to make a Negas on a Teenage Warhead movie. Just give it to me.
Yeah.
Also, I really appreciated the Ferris Bueller ending after credits.
I appreciated it, but then I was also like proud because I'm like, I did it before you, motherfucker.
I actually didn't see it.
Yeah. Okay. So let me explain. Let me explain. I planned this out where I bought tickets for Sal and I to see Deadpool and The Witch, and I timed it in my head. The Vivitch, and I timed it in my head where I was like, okay, so there's about 15 to 20 minutes of credits, and the movie is an hour and 47 minutes long. And so I was like, okay, so I should have about 10 minutes before The Witch starts. But it turns out about 2 minutes before the end credit scene starts, The Witch is starting. And we have to run down to the other side of the theater. And so we literally sit down to watch The Witch right as the opening like credits for that movie starts. And he basically says that he might get Keira Knightley to play Cable. Yeah, and so I laughed. I'm surprised I wasn't spoiled on everything, pretty much. I heard nothing
honestly,
about Deadpool.
There's not much you could spoil with this movie.
No, but the jokes.
Which is okay, because like it's the story's simple, but it's the character and the world and the characters and how they do it that make it enjoyable, and that's okay with me. This movie didn't need to have an amazing story.
Something that's funny to me is I feel like I don't know the actual timetable. To me, my guess is this was announced like right after the figures for Deadpool's opening weekend came in, but it seems like I just saw a report where Zack Snyder is like, hey, Batman v Superman might be rated R, and it's like, oh my god, now all the superhero films are going to be like, ooh, we're grittier, we're dark, we're going to go past that rating.
And then I'm thinking to myself, Zack Snyder, Watchmen was rated R, and although that movie was fucking amazing, it did not do as well.
So basically, what happened was, because this movie's still rocking the box office. 3 weeks. We're recording this at 3 weeks after, but it's rocking the box office. Number one top R movie of all time. Budget
holy shit, it is.
Yeah,
it passed Passion of the Christ.
Basically, what happened is 2 weeks after the movie came out, Zack Snyder was like, "Oh, there might be a cut of Batman v Superman rated R," and then they were like, "We might make Old Man Wolverine R-rated now."
Yeah,
and it's like,
no, it's confirmed probably.
Oh yeah, now, but yeah, this is the test. It's okay.
Yeah, and I'm all for that. Honestly, I would like to see a Wolverine movie that's rated R.
Yeah, again, like everyone, like there's so many people that are just like, Hugh Jackman will always be Wolverine for me. And it's just like, I like Hugh Jackman, but I don't necessarily like how his Wolverine is written.
But he's great. I will say that
he's great in the interpretation of Wolverine, but his interpretation of Wolverine is not great.
I will not debate this. I
don't. Do you want to know why? Because we're gonna end the episode.
Oh, okay.
I'm calling it. No, because what's gonna happen is we're gonna talk for 20 more minutes about fucking Wolverine and X-Men.
Yeah, that's true.
I wanted to add some things about Deadpool, but it's fine.
No, what? Go on.
Okay, so
Deadpool.
No, I just wanted to say it actually, like, some of the things that initially seemed like bad writing, that like Francis is just meeting with some random guy. It's like, oh, get it? He's a mutant and he's a bad guy. He lifts him up by his neck. But then if you notice, he's actually shipping them Weapon X weapons.
Mm-hmm.
And so I only noticed that towards the end of the movie. It clicked in my mind. I was like, oh, that's what that scene was there for. Even though the plot is very simple, things that initially seem like they shouldn't be there, they actually pay off. I just got to say, Ryan Reynolds' devotion to this character is much appreciated. Like the fact that he has the makeup on for most of the film. Mm-hmm. Besides when he's wearing the suit, but like when he's fucking naked and like fighting Francis, like that's not vanity. Like that man has let go of his vanity, and I appreciate that.
No, his passion shows.
Oh, there's a reason Nathan said, and I agree, that this is Ryan Reynolds' probably best performance. I can't think of anything else right now.
He's good in voices.
This is probably the most owning of a superhero role that I've seen in a long time. Like Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool. Like that is it for me. That is like, yes.
The whole thing, the reason this whole thing started was he was doing Blade Trinity, and the guy they said, listen, you're basically Deadpool. Here's a bunch of comics. And Ryan Reynolds read them and fell in love with the character. And this is a weird thing where Ryan Reynolds, they honestly should have stopped trying to make him a thing when it came to superhero films, because he did Blade Trinity, Green Lantern, X-Men Origins Deadpool, and then he finally got the chance to do what he wanted, and I was like, thank God, because now it makes it seem like those movies are slightly less atrocious.
No, you forgot R.I.P.D.
That is out of my mind. That does not exist.
But still a comic book film.
Yeah, as much as Cowboys versus Aliens was, so.
Yeah, it is.
No, but they released it like at the same time. The whole reason so the company that did this is a tangent. I'm gonna wrap up real quick. But Cowboys and Aliens is basically the people who make that did Men in Black. They basically release comic books just so they'll get made into movies.
So
they basically cheat so that their numbers appear higher, so that studios will buy the rights and make the movie.
Dude, so it fucking works. I do that.
It's dishonest.
Yeah, I agree.
Whatever, fuck it. That was Deadpool. I recommend it.
Yes, recommend it.
Again, give it more money.
Again, I know, Sal, you haven't seen the last 3 X-Men movies, but I'm just saying, Fox is doing it for me. Fox is doing it. First Class, fucking amazing. Days of Future Past, fucking amazing. The Wolverine, pretty good. And then this movie is fucking amazing. So I'm just saying, Fox is where I'm at. That's where I'm at, man.
I will watch them one day.
When we do the retrospective.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I might just wait till we do that, just so it's just like a fresh person in mind. Like, we have to have that fresh face.
Yeah.
Of course.
I'll just wait for that. But yeah, that was Deadpool. Watch it. Good shit. Fuck yeah. X gonna give it to you. We're not gonna use the song for the outro, but it's still good. Maybe we'll just beatbox it, like, X gonna give it to... No, okay, nope.
Cue the credits.
Yeah. Cue the credits.